What was the most challenging part of this hike? Was there any part that was unplanned or unexpected that was really tough as shit to get through?
So we had anticipated hiking faster than we hiked due to heavy pack, wild terrain, the elevation gain up and down on super sketchy, gnarly terrain. We averaged 1 mile an hour the first 5 days, and we hiked about 50 miles, 48 miles. So we were just gutting it out, bro, gutting it out. A couple days in, we didn't eat enough food the first few days. We very badly underate. We ate like a normal day's worth of food, maybe a little bit more. But we were burning close to, if not more than 7,500 calories per day is what we calculated out based on pack weight, elevation, mileage, etc., time on feet, right? So the third day we had brought more food, right? We had brought close to that weight, probably over that weight. We ended up giving some of that away. We left it at a shelter to cut weight to make Rue's pack and my pack a little bit more manageable, which helped given the elevation and the days that we had up to that point. So we got 48 miles in. We're 4 nights, 5 days into this trek now, and we had a 14-mile day, right? So we're ending a 14-mile day to get to mile 48, and it's been a long-ass day. We're hiking about like 2 miles an hour now because we had kind of crested it, and kind of maybe we had a little bit longer of a decline, maybe 1.5 miles. It's been a long day, but had consecutive long days, right? 4 or 5 days in a row now. And we go to cook dinner, and Rue pulls out all her bags of food, and I pull out all my bags of food, and we start adding everything up and looking at stuff. And we're like, all right, well, let's like double check. And so we're like double checking pockets and like dump all the food out. And we've got like 4,000 calories worth of food, maybe a little less total.
And for how many days left?
We had planned on doing the quote easy half of this hike. The first half had a ton of elevation gain. The second half was kind of like long, steady with like 2 or 3 mountains, not 10, right? We had planned on 5 days. We were going to do 5 easy days. And we had enough calories, about half as much calories that one of us should have been eating for 1 day left.
So you
which
have
was still a
4,000
volume amount of food. Yeah, it's a lot of food.
4,000 total or 4,000 each?
Total.
4,000 total calories for the last half.
Yeah, the last 52 miles. So,
Jesus Christ.
So we had a real gut check moment, right? We had like a real like
literally,
yeah,
literally, you're like,
literally.
check our guts. Like, can we throw up anything and eat it again? Like, is there anything left in there?
So we assessed some stuff, and it was like, all right, like we had planned on eating. I brought a pound of salmon, like a salmon packet or whatever, and that was, that wasn't included in the 4,000. We were going to eat that night regardless. So we were like, all right, let's eat what we have. And I said, we didn't really have any options, man. That's the crazy thing about this. It's like, all right, we could have turned around and gone 48 miles backwards to the car. Or we keep going, finish the thing in 52 miles through the quote easiest part, right? Not easy, but easier. And so that's what we did. We ended up getting service at mile like 55 or 60 in one of the first little mountains on Rue's phone. We called the shuttle that was supposed to pick us up Friday at 3 to pick us up at Wednesday at noon. And we woke up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and left at 6 a.m. on Monday morning, and we hiked 22 miles on Monday. We hiked 23 and a half miles in 15 hours on Tuesday, and then woke up the next day and gutted it out again for the last 8 miles. We had that 4,000 calories. Now, when we made that decision, it was I guess we could have called, there was a road at mile 65 that was a logging road that had been put in the last 5 years. It's a 45-minute drive. Apparently people do drops there. We didn't know that you could drop food, and we probably wouldn't have done that anyways, but miracles happen, bro. It's called trail magic, right? So we had a trail magic moment. And when Rue and I decided, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to keep going, we can do this, we're going to get up early, we're going to try to hit 20 plus days. We're looking at the maps. We're like, if we can get to here, and then if we can get to here, then we can get up early and then get to where we need to be, so we're strategizing it out, right? We eat this day, etc. I thought, hey, we gave food away, and food that could be really valuable at this point, and it was great not having to hike with it, but something's going to happen. Like, we're going to be provided for in some way, right? So we just trusted it. We're going to make it. We're not going to die. It's going to be fine. It's going to be shitty, but we're going to do it. Trust the karma and trust the circumstance. Trust yourself. Trust the ability to do it. So we decided to wake up the next morning at 5 a.m. and break down camp and leave at 6. It's fucking cold, by the way. Especially in the morning. Yeah, super cool, man. We get up and we were going to hike 10 miles fasted, right? We're going to do the first 10 fasted, right? And then at 10 miles, we were going to eat this little like oatmeal bar called a bobo and one thing of beef jerky. And that was our lunch. And then we were going to wait until we had, our one freeze dried meal that we were going to split for dinner. And like, we were just rationing it out. So spirits were high. We can do this. It's going to be great. Keeping good vibes, drinking water, making pretty good time, making like 2 mile an hour, a little bit more than even.
Yeah,
like
and you guys are on like 800 calories a day at this point, pretty much like around there.
So we had up to this point been eating about half as much as we needed to be eating, but still 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day, right? The start of this day, the start of I guess day 6 is the start of a long day, and we're underfed still, we're overworked still, we're cold, etc. And from this point on, we each have about 2,000 calories total for the 52 miles. And so the first 10 miles of those 52 miles on the first morning after we make that decision, that we've got 2.5 days, we got to get to Apple Bridge by noon on Wednesday, and it's Monday morning. At mile 9.75, we get to that little logging road. And I see a fucking car. And I'm like, holy shit, what is this? And we're going to stop and eat our food at 10 miles again. And at 9.75, this road is here, this car is here. And I had no idea. And there's a lady there from St. Louis. She has a table. And her son, who has a trail name of Everclear, had gone through the day before. And she had given him food, and he was hiking through from Georgia since February, and she hadn't seen him, and he's going to summit the mountain and finish the trail in the next 2 days, and she's got a day to kill here, and she just wanted to give back to the hiking community, like the hiking community had given back to her son. And this fucking angel had a table with food on it. Take what you want. And it was, ham sandwich, Doritos, a Sprite, Oreos, fucking all candy, trail mix, applesauce, like all kinds of shit, right? And that was quite literally, like, I don't know what we would have done if we hadn't gotten and met that lady, because, I had probably 10 Oreos, a Sprite, a handful of Doritos, applesauce, trail mix, a ham sandwich, right? And Rue did the same thing. And not only that moral victory, but also that actual, like, holy shit, our bodies actually had the calories it needed for the first time in a couple days. And for this trek ahead, it allowed us to save our food until like 3 o'clock that day, like almost 20, or 15 plus miles in. So, man, we did a 22 mile, 12-hour day. We hiked 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then we hiked 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We did night hiking the next day. And we did 23 miles that day.
God damn. So if that lady didn't appear from the heavens, you guys would have had the 2.5 days that you were going to hike the last 52 miles on 2,000 calories each. So literally like 700-800 calories a day, something like that, when you're burning an extra 7,500 because of hiking.
Correct.
That is absurd.
It was absurd. And we ended up, so I probably ate 3,000 or 4,000 calories on that thing. I still was super fucking low,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we ended up getting that boost. We had a pretty gnarly river crossing we had to navigate, which was waist high but moving pretty quick, and it was pretty hairy. But we figured that out. And then we we had our last meal. We were going to decide whether we wanted to either get up in the morning and hike 12 miles and cut it real fucking close, or hike like 4 miles at night and then wake up and do 8. So we decided to do the latter. And our last meal was 1 packet of boil and bag brown rice at about 180 calories, and then 1 packet of tuna. One of those like Lunchable type style tunas, which was 14 grams of protein, 200 calories, and we put that in this little jet boil bowl, about this big, and we each had our little spork, and we were eating out of it. And then we put spring water in that bowl and boiled the water and added salt, the last of our wares, and we ate the last of the food that we had at probably 6 p.m. that night, overlooking this gorgeous lake called Rainbow Lake up there. And then we started night hiking, and we drank the broth. We set out into the night. Super fucking sketchy, by the way. Like hearing moose and shit, like call from across the lake, and like just seeing this thing, and literally just the little circle of your headlamp. Found a tent, and it was zombie hiking, man. You were talking about that earlier, like being asleep on your feet, and being that tired. It was days of zombie walking.